Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Bev Boys Basketball
The
All right.
podcast. Nice.
Podcast.
Blood.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Bev Boys Basketball Broadcast, where we talk Bevs, basketball, and whatever else we want to talk about. We're three guys, myself, Alvin, got Nick, we got
Nick.
Tyler with us here today. Let's start with the Bevs, huh? What y'all got?
I'll start it off. I got the this is my go-to. This is Celsius watermelon flavor is the go-to. Let me tell you something. This right here will get you going in the morning. If you're feeling a little hazy, a little tired, take a couple sips of that and you'll be.
Why is it called Celsius?
I don't
Is
know.
that like a marketing thing?
You know, it's like
Fahrenheit isn't found
Fahrenheit
anywhere
is
else.
Celsius works more with the world outside the US. So
Is Celsius like an
I thought you were gonna go with the Bang. I'm a little disappointed.
no, Bang is this is my hot take. Bang is incredibly overrated and it's trash. It doesn't taste very good. Their flavors are overly sweet, and it doesn't get you hyped in the same way that a lot of other better, higher quality drinks will. So,
Okay.
like this, I'll take this over Bang all day.
Salt
Dang.
J.
All
I
day.
wonder if we're all going like energy centric bevs then. Like, I did not intend to do that. So I looked around. I wanted like a really good bev. Went to a couple different stores as I was grocery shopping. I forgot ultimately. I was like, oh, I'll pick something up later. And then last night at like 11:30, I was like, oh shit. So I like took the scooter over to 7-Eleven. And they don't have that much, but I picked up this brand of yerba mate I've never had before.
I
Berry
almost got
red.
that, Alvin.
You almost got it? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now. This is
Oh,
a
man.
live
Ooh, cracking it
reaction
open.
right now. It's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, I've had like, I mean, all these like other all these like yerba mates out here are just like really sweet, and you don't like taste the dirt, I guess, of like a yerba mate, and this one feels really
Yeah.
sweet too.
It's gotta taste just like dirt and grass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be
It's good. If you had gone to Brazil, you would have gotten it.
I don't get it, man. I've tried it. I like a lot of bitter stuff. Like I prefer like black coffee and like really dark chocolate and shit like that. But mate and that's just like I can't get into it.
You'll probably like this then, because this is 33 grams of sugar and it's all added.
Ooh,
You
wow.
realize?
that's sweet.
Yeah, that's. Oh my gosh. There's cranberry juice in here. You can channel your inner Dogface 208.
Okay.
Yeah. He was on y'all know who I'm talking about, right? The guy who's like longboarding in Idaho with the cranberry juice.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Idaho
Okay.
Falls.
That's right.
Shout out Idaho Falls as
Yeah.
well.
All Gas No Breaks has an interview with him that went out. So support All Gas No Breaks. Those guys are the truth. Hit him up on patreon.com/allgasnobreaks. Yeah. Anyways, they like had this clip of him like trying to buy a house. That was pretty cool. All from a bev.
Getting
Nice.
that cranberry money.
Yeah.
You never know where a good bev could take you. That's why we start out with this. You know?
You're right. That's a great motto, Tyler. We'll have to remember that.
We're just trying to get sponsored eventually by some of these bevs, you know.
Honestly, I would
once
love
we
to
get a bunch of
sponsored by
followers.
Celsius.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I would be. I mean, I'd be happy with any sponsorship probably, but
Yeah.
anyways. Tyler, you're showing us your Kings logo. What kind of bev you got today?
true, I was grabbing it. So I went to the bodega since I'm in New York, and
Oh, really? I didn't know
where
that.
you go
That's
in New
crazy.
York,
Wow.
you go to the local bodega, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted. I was like, do I get something like kind of different, something kind of like New York centric. And I thought, what would piss Nick off the most? So I went with a nice little Dr. Pepper.
Is that cream soda Dr. Pepper? I gotta look this up. Really quick.
Oh, you're the worst. And it's cream too. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god!
Oh yeah.
Like the two worst possible combinations. For
This is
drink.
why I got it, just for this reaction.
I've
God,
never seen like that before.
Mm.
who the hell gets up and says, "I could really go for a cream flavored Dr. Pepper right
Oh,
now"?
that's good.
That would hit.
Oh,
the
it's just so
spot.
basic and mediocre. Yeah.
Oh my god!
No, this is actually really good. That was terrible.
Yeah, I hope you choke on it.
See, I don't mind Dr. Pepper is the thing. It's not
Yeah,
really
it's kind of weird. I do
It's
like
cough
Dr.
syrup. It tastes like cough syrup.
I remember when I was a kid and I would go to, I think it was like Burger King or something because they have Dr. Pepper. Like I would have a Bev or like my Bev of choice, and I would usually get Dr. Pepper because I felt like it was more sophisticated than like Coca-Cola.
Like the pinky out, like yes, I've got my Dr. Pepper here. As you can see.
Yes, indeed. 23 flavors.
Let's talk about the
Every
issue.
one of them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and cream soda. I feel like is like it simplifies the taste, you know. So no wonder it's bad.
Yeah, I would not recommend the cream soda Dr. Pepper. Just stick with the OG stuff.
Or maybe just none.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, now that we've got the bevs out of the way, if you have any comments about your bevs mid sip, pause everything. Let's talk about the bevs because I have growing opinions on this yerba mate. All right, basketball news. Let's go first. Best and worst signings. I've got some interesting ones to start out. Let's talk Detroit. Huh? Let's talk about how they took like a bunch of players from the Nuggets and overpaid the shit out of them just to like spite Jokic or something like that.
My opinion
How
on
many
Detroit.
centers do they have now?
Detroit is becoming what the Kings under Vlade were for the last couple years.
Oh, don't say that.
Like that's kind of what I'm seeing from them. Is just like, hey, like, yeah, we're kind of rebuilding, but also let's throw some really bad contracts out to these guys who are not gonna make us much better. Like, oh yeah, 8th seed, but also we're kind of rebuilding. I don't know, like that's kind of the vibe.
2017 Kings, right?
Yeah.
You draft Fox, then you sign Zebo. Why?
Yeah, that's absolutely the vibe that I'm getting from this right now.
Well, I think there's like an argument for that, right? Like Zebo, I don't know. Zebo could have been like helpful to the team, one could say, at least for the culture. You know, De'Aaron Fox and like a bunch of podcasts has been like, yo, Zebo like set the tone. George Hill didn't say anything about George Hill. Didn't say
that guy.
I'm not gonna slander the guy. Okay, you can go ahead. But you know, I get it, but then like you sign like 5 centers, right? Like
that's another Kings reference to me. I was like, wow, okay, all right, let's get Papianis in there. Why not?
Yeah, and then they drafted Isaiah Stewart with the 16th pick too. That's like another like. At least people heard of Isaiah Stewart. You know, like no one had heard of Yorgos Papagiannis, dude. The only thing they had heard is that he has beef with freaking Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like,
who did Papianis have beef with? Dragon Bender. That was the only good part of drafting Papianis.
Yeah.
Was like that horrible
that's right.
beef that was meaningless.
Yeah. Was it Yorgos's dad who's like massive? Dude's like 7 feet tall and like 400 pounds. Probably. Who I was thinking?
I would assume so because he's massive too.
Yeah. What's he up to? Let's look this up.
Papianis.
I can't.
Oh, we're going deep into King's lore here. Like, what's Papianis up to? Is he even playing in Europe? Like,
yeah, dude. I actually found a Eurohoops article that says Papagiannis, a priority EuroLeague fantasy edition. Good for him.
You're kidding. Are they counting like fouls as points now? Because homeboy like fouled out of the summer league, and you can have like 10 fouls.
He was pretty young, dude. I don't know.
He was good at screens.
Yeah, he was good at screens. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Screens are good. No one talks about like all these like screen setters are like underrated. I I don't know. Maybe the dawn of like value for the screen setter will be nigh. You know,
I probably still use the lottery pick to get a designated screen setter, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I guess to be fair, I have no idea how good of a screen setter Isaiah Stewart is, right? But Mason Plumlee, Miles Plumlee, one of the Plumleys.
Mason.
Oh yeah, they got Mason Plumlee, I think.
Yeah,
too.
Mason Plumlee, great screen setter, rolls hard.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll play the Papianis role for the Detroit.
Here's my thing. Here's the biggest thing. Like you have Blake Griffin, and then you sign Jeremy Grant, 3 years, $60 million, to play more or less the same position, right? Like 3-4, but he's probably going to be the best at the 4.
Yeah.
For a guy that averaged like 10 shots a game for his team last year. And then you get rid of Christian Wood. You don't do anything with Christian Wood. What the hell is that?
That didn't make any sense to me. Why would you not keep Christian Wood?
That was probably one of the better signings for
Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Houston,
yeah, they're chilling right now.
Did pretty well considering, I don't know, like they've got like that whole, like, I have 2 disgruntled superstars.
I think they handled that really well because it's like some teams would have caved and be like, okay, sure, we'll just trade you, and then not get a good. Like the only from everything I was looking at of like possible trade options, I was like, if they offered like Ben Simmons for Harden, I'd be like, okay, yeah, done deal. Like I would have taken that. But anything else, I was like, I don't think any of these are really worth it for someone like James Harden. So I think being patient is going to be a much more beneficial move for them.
Also, shout out to the Knicks for finally making a good choice and not trading for Westbrook. Like,
well, who knows, man? It might still happen.
Did something good, you know.
It might still happen.
Well, I guess nobody can even go to the arena this upcoming season. So I was like, it would get people in the stands, but
nope.
but nope. So there's no point.
Are you telling me you wouldn't pay attention to the Knicks more than you do currently, Tyler, if there was Russell Westbrook?
I don't like Russell Westbrook's game, so it would make me want to watch them even less, I think. Honestly.
Well, and I think
personally that I just don't like watching him. So
I think I don't know. I think like that's who the like Hornets should have targeted.
No.
Not Gordon Hayward. Yeah, bro, come on.
That's the worst contract. That is the worst contract of all.
Oh, easily.
Easily the worst contract.
Man, that boy got paid. I don't even know why, but he got paid.
Get that money.
What's up with Michael Jordan?
People want him, dude. There's like rumors of like the Pacers saying like,
yeah, I saw that
they were gonna sign him for like they're trying to get him in like the $100 to $110 million range. Kevin O'Connor reported that on the Ringer. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
I was thinking he was gonna get 20, 25 a year max, but 30, and then they had to waive Batum, so essentially they're paying him like $39 million a year, which is just outrageous. Like,
what's 10 million between friends? Right?
Like
if you're already going there, you might as well just go all the way. Like, I don't think it like I don't think the difference between like 25 and 30 million is gonna make it like dramatically harder to trade him if they wanted to. Like, it's gonna be considered like near albatross kind of regardless of how much. Like, anything over like 20 million I feel like is going to be a near albatross contract.
I think you just don't sign him. Like, if your team is that young, like, why? What's the point?
And they're not making the playoffs, especially with Atlanta actually being like making moves. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, Atlanta will probably be the 8th seed. Cool, neat. That's he made some moves, he'll make it. But like, Charlotte's not making the playoffs. Like,
hang on, let's look at that Eastern Conference really quick because they're like good kind of all of a sudden. Like,
yeah, no, like the top 8 are like solid teams, but it's that classic like huge drop off.
Yeah, so I'm gonna list it off really quick. So there's Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston, Indiana, Miami. That's 5.
Toronto's gonna fall a little bit this year, though.
Yeah, but they're still a playoff team.
Yeah, I think so.
They're still a playoff team, especially if like Aaron Baines
Guy Aaron
Talking
Baines.
about major pickups, like, yeah, if he can replicate whatever he did this past year with the Suns, like that could be really good. But anyways, so we've got 5. We got Philly, Brooklyn, Orlando.
Brooklyn's back.
That's the playoffs right
Yeah.
there.
Brooklyn.
Orlando's out, and Atlanta's going to take the 8th spot. That's what I think.
But then you have Washington too, right?
That was something else. I thought I was like, it's going to be a toss up between Washington and Atlanta, depending on John Wall. If he comes back and is his old self, which apparently he's looking really good from what I've heard. But I mean, who the hell knows? Like,
Also, they brought back the classic Kings killer, Davis Bertans.
yeah, Bertans is getting that bag.
What do you guys think of that? 5 years, $80 million. How do you feel about that deal?
That's honestly not that bad. I don't.
Yeah, I think that's what is that like? What is that per year? High teens.
That's like
per year.
high teens,
it's like
probably.
17, something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
not bad.
Yeah. I mean, he's like one of the most effective shooters in the NBA, right? Like,
Yeah, volume, stretch forward. And he's
Yeah.
young.
Their lineup is interesting. I mean, if Wall's back, if he's like 80% of what he used to be, and you got prime, who's a shooting guard?
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Hachimura.
Hachimura. Okay, so
Hachimura.
here's the one thing that I have with that deal is my first thought was what happens to Rui Hachimura? So
He's
I
a
guess the
wing
question,
still.
huh?
Well, is he a 3 or a 4? I mean,
I think he's a 4. I think he's not quick enough laterally to be a 3 or to guard 3s consistently.
yeah,
This line.
He's a big dude.
big boy.
Yeah.
You
So
have Tomas Bryant. He's pretty good.
Thomas Bryant's pretty good.
Yeah, they've got a couple bigs.
Yeah, they have some stuff. Let me look at the rest of their free agents or like Wizards.
I think they lost Ish Smith. I don't know who else they have.
There were talks about Russell Westbrook for John Wall. Did y'all see that?
I saw that and I was like, why? Like, in what way does that benefit either team?
For funsies.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
for funsies.
Russ is healthy, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, both their contracts are still like outrageous.
Well, it's the same contract. I guess it's just
Yeah.
like the scenery for both.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question is, who would y'all rather have?
I would much rather have John Wall. Absolutely. It's not
Damn.
even close.
All right.
I'd have to see how
If
John
he's
Wall
healthy,
over
if
former
he's
MVP.
healthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, if they're both equally healthy, I would take John Wall.
Really?
Westbrook.
Really?
For sure.
Wow. Okay.
For sure. I mean, like Russell Westbrook has.
Former MVP, huh? Triple double.
When was the
2 years in
last
a row.
time he got out of like the first round of the playoffs?
Can
like
you
when John
fully
Wall
blame
was
that on
healthy?
him? He's always
No, I'm
working.
saying like he doesn't make your team. He's not gonna push you over that hump if you bring him on. He's because you already know he's gonna play exactly the way he's gonna play. Nothing is ever gonna change that, and that's cool. That's fine. But like John Wall can at least, I think, if he's healthy, he will make your team better, in my opinion.
I mean,
He'll take you over
that's
that hump.
probably
Like,
the
he'll take you
argument
to
for
the
Russell
Eastern Conference
Westbrook.
Finals,
Yeah.
and like
That's
he can shoot. He can do a lot more. He's got more dimensions to his game, I think.
we have no idea. We have no idea where John Wall is right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
We haven't
that's what I'm
seen
saying.
him
If he's
in
healthy,
years.
if I know he's healthy and like he's good to go, I'll
Yeah.
take him.
The
Easily.
Yeah, I
last
agree
time we
with you.
saw John, like last picture I have of John Wall is him Team USA, and it looked like he was very clearly not doing anything athletic. Like, right? You guys remember that
Funny,
picture?
Like one of the fastest players, but he's kind of like a thick dude. So it's kind of like Melo. You're just like, wait, he's kind of like a thick guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to tell how like he is.
Wizards added Raul Neto.
Neat.
You know that?
I
Yeah.
remember he would come into Texas State Brazil all the time with
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert.
He was actually a nice guy.
He was a
Rudy,
cool guy.
Rudy was a jackass, but Raul was pretty nice.
You got. When do you want to spill that Rudy Gobert spice? Is this the episode? Probably not. Probably not. We should probably do a whole episode just based around your guys' interactions with NBA players at Texas Day Brazil. Which, by the way, could someone explain what Texas Day Brazil is if there's someone who actually listens to this that has no idea what that is?
For our dedicated fans, Texas Day Brazil is a Brazilian steakhouse that Nick and I used to work at in downtown Salt Lake. And it's like a favorite of Rudy Gobert's. He'd come in once or twice a month. And homeboy's making 25 million a year, never tipped, maybe 10%. So that's why we say he's a jackass. He also was overheard saying, "I don't pay child support. Why would I do that? That's ridiculous."
Save that for another episode.
Yeah, we'll
Save
dive
that
into
for a
that.
whole other thing.
And
We'll just call it like Rudy Gobert slander. That's all
Massive
it is.
like clickbait, like Rudy Gobert doesn't pay child support.
That'll be our like headlining episode. Perfect. Love that.
Oh god.
All right. So just finishing up with Houston, I just want to make sure. So they got Christian Wood. That's a big one. What else they got? I should have.
Marcus Cousins.
Oh
yeah,
shit,
dude.
Boogie.
got Boogie.
Oh.
He posted some videos on Instagram, I think yesterday. He looks good.
I
he
hope
looks
so,
fit.
man.
He's like
Yeah.
shooting all over the place. Like he looks good. And I
That's
am
good.
just like, I really want to see him succeed, man. That would just be so sick.
Is this his Derrick Rose like comeback with the Wolves where he's just like finally healthy, finally doing stuff, like not like what he used to be, but he can still put in games where you're like, damn.
I
Like,
think it will in a sense because like I don't see James Harden staying there or Westbrook for that matter. So like who else is gonna score on that team? And so they're just gonna be like, all right, do you? And he's just gonna it'll be like Zebo with the Kings. He's just gonna like score like crazy because like they're just gonna dump it to him and he's just gonna do
Are you
work.
saying that he's gonna single-handedly keep them in games? Like somehow hitting like
Kinda.
timely threes, like uncontested, because no one thinks he's gonna make it.
And he just
Turns
keeps
out he's
making it.
shooting like 32% or something like that. Like
he's been making threes though.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
a-
Boogie's been making threes. Yeah.
yeah.
And he's been good.
I see him this year if and when they trade Harden and Westbrook, like they're just gonna be like, all right, just go for it. Like
Yeah.
what the hell?
So my take here, like with Christian Wood and Boogie, is that Houston is very much going back to a pick and roll system, like they were doing with Clint Capella. This year, they largely excised it. They're just doing ISO stuff all the time. And when like Steven Silas and their GM, I forgot his name, like when they said like we're doubling down on these guys, that was like, oh man, like we're gonna watch more ISOs. But clearly, like Christian Wood cannot do ISO. Like I would not want to rely on him regularly, but he is a great player in the pick and roll, like really crafty there. Boogie, like if you give him options, like he's gonna make stuff happen. Like he's gonna allow players to move off ball. Maybe Russell Westbrook learns to move off ball more, you know. So
I don't
be
think
good.
that's ever gonna happen, but
hey, he was doing it a little bit more this year, slight bit more. It's gonna sound like I'm a Russell Westbrook apologist. Let me
It
clarify.
really
I
does
am
sound
not.
You're
that
definitely coming off that way.
I am not.
he's not that bad.
He's not that bad. That's what it is. Okay, one more thing that I thought was interesting in free agency was Malik Beasley.
He got
4
paid.
years, $60 million.
That's
was,
a
like,
lot.
under the radar.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yeah,
You said it's 3 years, 60 million. He's getting
4
20
years.
Oh, 4 years. Okay, I was confused.
Yeah.
It's still a lot, I think, but I think he'll be a good six man for them. Or I don't know if he starts. Do you start him or do you start what's his name? Who they just draft?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Oh wait, no. They have Ricky Rubio and D'Angelo. I think that's your starting guards. And then you have Beasley and Edwards off the bench.
Yeah, you've got to have Rubio like setting the tone. I think. Oh, I am a Ricky Rubio apologist, and I always will be.
Yes.
I will always be a Ricky Rubio apologist. I think he will do much of the same things that he did for Phoenix in Minnesota this year. I think he'll bring good effort on defense, smart ball movement, just a level-headed player on that team full of dudes that are just guys being dudes.
Guys
you know?
being dudes.
Yeah.
And he can play defense, which they need desperately.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he can be good which there's no indication that he won't embrace being kind of like a pseudo leader of that team. I don't know. I'm a big fan.
They need somebody because they do not have a like leader like that.
Yeah, the
What do you
last
mean
one was
Browns?
Kevin Durant or Kevin
Yeah.
Jimmy
Durant.
Butler.
Oh my gosh.
We know how
Ugh.
that ended.
Yeah. Yeah. Woof. All right.
We'll have to bring Henry on to talk about the Timberwolves. Just hear some of his
Oh my
tape.
god.
I will bring all of my Ricky Rubio stuff here.
I would
and he
love
can
to
just
see
shout
that.
at me.
He'll just get so pissed off.
Oh, I love Rubio. Can't get enough. All right. Any big trades that y'all want to talk about? We've got Chris Paul, got Detroit making all kinds of stuff going on. OKC, Philly, like there's been a lot of
They
trades.
dumped Horford, which props to them for getting rid of that contract.
And they didn't have to give up a crazy amount either, which is kind of nice. I don't think. Like,
Would they give up a first round
Like a
pick, and a
pick?
second round pick?
yeah,
Let's look it up.
they also stole Tyrese Maxey at like 22 in the
Yeah.
draft, which I'm just like,
Oh.
that's so sick,
Yeah.
man. Because
I-
God, I love Tyrese Maxey.
I hope he has a long, fruitful career. Let us be on the record of saying that I was very high on Tyrese Maxey. Nick was.
Yeah,
Tyler,
I didn't look into the draft this year. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
very high on Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
And if anyone can come back here in several years' time, who knows what happens on the internet, you know. If he's not good, then that's on us. But
That's the
I think
draft,
he'll
yeah.
be good.
yeah.
So here's the trade, the Al Horford for Danny Green trade. So OKC gets a 2025 first round pick, protected 1 through 6. If that doesn't convey, you get protection for 2026 and 2027, 1 through 4. And then if that doesn't work, then it becomes a 2027 second round pick. That's pretty
I
good.
feel like that's a sneaky good asset because in 5 to 6 years, Philly could be bad. I mean, they might not have any of those guys. So
Yeah.
that could be worth something down the road, honestly.
Yeah. Unless, you know, a combination of Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey kind of just rule the Eastern Conference like we're thinking.
Also, getting Seth Curry was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like that's a very cool pickup for them. That's like exactly what they needed.
Daryl Morey completely redid that roster in a way that everyone has been yelling about for years.
Yeah,
Just angrily tweeting
Get
like,
shooters.
yeah, get
which is
some
like
shooters.
he's the perfect guy. If that's the case, go get Daryl Morey. He will get you a bunch of shooters and like volume threes.
Why can't we have Daryl Morey?
Well, you know, we got his
That's protege.
protege.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the next best thing, right? But
Well, he was like
I-
the third guy hired from that front office, so maybe he's like the third best thing.
no.
Yeah. I'm a believer so far in McNair, and we'll get into that in a bit.
Should we just dive in since we're on the topic, or
Yeah, we might as well. Let me
because
look at
I got some takes on like the Bogdanovich thing and
same? I think let's just go into Bogdanovich. You guys down?
All right, go ahead.
Nick, what you got? Let's hear it.
so a few different things about the Bogdanovich thing. Obviously, you want to get something in return, and to be fair, to give them credit, they had a deal in place that I was pretty hyped about because I really dig DiVincenzo.
Totally. Yeah.
And that just like blew up in a way that nobody's ever really seen. Get that shit out of here with that.
Go ahead and show the camera the Dr. Pepper. The best sponsorship.
Brief moment to remember our sponsors. Thank you, Dr.
Oh,
Pepper.
God.
Yerba mate, you know.
Mm.
Yak Jack.
Yak check.
Oh, that's good.
Oh God.
Earthy. Sorry, Nick.
And we're
Oh, yeah.
back.
So this is me purely speculating. This is my I don't have anything really to back this, but this is just what I believe is that I genuinely think Atlanta sabotaged our trade with the Bucks. I think they might have been the ones to throw that under the bus and like report it to Woj to get it messed up, because as
How
soon
would
as
they
that
know?
happened, they were like, "Hey guys, here's our deal." Which I don't know how that wasn't considered tampering, because they definitely had that shit going before like all the trading and everything started either. But I genuinely
Atlanta
like,
had it going before, you're saying? Sorry to cut
yeah,
you off.
yeah, yeah.
All right, okay.
So and everyone's just like, yo, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this where you have this trade set to go and then it just like all of a sudden out of nowhere gets blown up. And I was like, okay, either the Bucks got excited and someone in their office leaked it, or Atlanta or the Knicks or somebody who had cap space, because they're one of the only few teams that had cap space to do something like this. They were like, yo, let's sabotage this so then we can make an offer that the Kings are going to be really like, it's going to be tough for them to match. Or and then they make a contract that, you know, credit to them, the contract was like not ideal for us either, with all the little clauses and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's my little rant about that.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
like
that's
it.
my conspiracy theory. So I wrote a few things down here. So Boggs, it was very clear that he's wanting to move on. And we already have another guy named Buddy Hield who is wanting to move on and is constantly subtweeting and liking shit. And like, I'm so over it, honestly.
Gosh.
So over it.
Oh my gosh.
it's like,
Twitter, dude.
Do you
Freaking
like, do you want a second guy? And obviously Boggs is a much more professional dude, but like, do you want a second guy in the same position in your locker room who wants to move on? And then you just drafted Halliburton. It's like, okay, well, you want to give time for Halliburton to start getting him progressing and developing. But how is he going to get minutes when you have two guys in his same position ahead of him who don't want to be there and are just making things more difficult? So there's that. Then the thoughts came to me like, okay, so if we were to match his offer, we probably wouldn't be able to trade him right away. We'd have to hold on to him for a while until we find something that he's down with to trade him, because that's part of the whole thing. And my mind immediately goes to, and you guys will remember this all too well, Rudy Gay.
okay.
Wanting to trade him. We're like, oh yeah, it's great. Like as soon as the trade deadline, we can trade him. And then what happens? He ruptures his Achilles. And like, Boggs hasn't had any serious injuries, but he's constantly getting nicked up and like constantly out for a few games here or there. And it's like, that's a huge risk. And then we're stuck with a 4-year, $72 million contract that we don't want, that doesn't fit the age thing. So there's that risk too. And then this is just like, you know what? Sometimes you got to just cut your losses and say, you know what, just go. This sucks, but we can lose the cap space, which will allow us to do things in the future, whether it's take on bad contracts for more picks or, you know, sign the guys we want to get, like give Bagley an extension or something like that. So it gives us the freedom there. And also, I'm kind of the opinion that I think that McNair is kind of tanking this year, because the draft next year is going to be nuts. And I was looking at that a lot the last couple of days, and I'm pretty hyped about it. So those
Cade Cunningham looks really dope.
Cade Cunningham's going to be a monster.
Looks
There's the
nice.
center for USC, Evan Mobley or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, I'm kind of hyped on him. But there's also a couple of really good wings. So that's my whole thing is like, okay, cut your losses, tank, get a really awesome pick in a super strong draft, and then you have a bunch of cap space left.
Yeah.
Can
I think
Oh,
yeah.
Alvin, did you want to say something?
No, you're good. Go for it.
Okay. I hear you on your points, Nick, and I think the risks are valid. But in my mind, like initially I was like, we need to just let Bogdan go. And for those who don't know, we call him Boggs. We don't call him Bogey.
Oh yeah.
We like to call him Boggs.
Yeah, Boggs.
In my mind, it was like, let Boggs go. You know, he needs to get out of Sacramento. He's earned it. But then, like,
how many other like fan
Sacramento.
bases say like go
He
ahead and
deserves
leave,
to not be.
player.
Fly away, bird.
Yeah, you've outgrown us. Like
It's
that
true.
was. Oh my gosh. No
It's
one
sad.
else does that. Everyone else holds animosity towards those players.
Oh
We
my
don't.
God.
Harry Giles, we'll talk about him.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get into that.
No animosity. Anyways, go ahead, Tyler.
So that was my thought initially. And then I was like reading the King's Herald, reading some comments from people on their opinions about Boggs. And I saw some points that kind of changed my mind. It was like, we're the Kings, right? We don't get free agents. We rely on draft picks, rely on trades to get talent. And when we finally do get someone out of those scenarios, like we can't afford to lose them for nothing because we're just screwed if we do. Like we're not going to get that talent back any other way. So in my mind, I'm thinking, even though like the new contract is kind of shitty, that first year sucks. You know, there's like a trade kicker, and he's basically has a no trade clause. I still think you can make something work. Like if McNair was under Daryl Moore all those years, like he knows how to do trades. He's seen him wheel and deal. Like that contract per year is only 18 million. That's reasonable for Bogdanovich. He's a great player to have as your third or fourth guy. A lot of teams want him. And I think you could do a trade as simple as Danny Green in a first for Bogdanovich. Like that's you're getting something back, you know? So that was kind of my thought was like we have to get something back for him, even if it means an unhappy team for the first couple months. But
Okay. Well, so here's my first thought on the Bogdanovich trade, like that whole thing. If you just look at general cap trends, like there is a growing stratification between players, and you can point at like any number of things, like the supermax and that type of thing. But like the rich are getting richer in the NBA, the top players are getting paid more. There's a like shrinking group of players that are making like mid-level contracts, and then there's a lot of really base level contracts. So there's an argument that the rich are getting richer, those like role players are getting shorted more regularly. And my worry with signing someone like Bogdanovich, which a lot of the time is only possible like when you sign someone you already have, is that it's going to be harder to get a trade going for that because you're going to have to bundle together a bunch of small players. Otherwise, you're trading for an albatross. Like otherwise, that's my thought. Like, so I, it's really hard to see like Bogdanovich go. Like I was with my friend, we were like downtown, by like 18th and K type of thing. And we saw like Bogdanovich with like Nikola Jokic and like a bunch of Serbian bros. And my
Nice.
friend
So
yelled,
sick.
"Bogey!" And he like winked at us and waved. How sick is that?
Oh, he's great. He's like
Ugh.
one of the best guys. Like you can't not like him.
It's so hard to watch. And like, I mean, we can go into him as a player, but as a person, like
Top notch.
I feel like I want what's best for him, and I don't know. I just, yeah. Anyways, I get the whole letting him go. It's hard to do. It's hard to see, and you can point fingers at Vlade for not trading him at the deadline, right? Like because ultimately McNair had one hand tied behind his back. I'm guessing that if he could have traded him at the trade deadline last year, he would have. Like, and maybe that's reading into like what Monte McNair would have done and doing that unfairly because we don't know all that much about him. But like, I think most GMs would have traded Bogdanovich at the deadline because there's a chance that this would have happened. So,
Yeah.
Vlade is most GMs. So
Oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah, I think McNair is just kind of like he's kind of sitting there like, well, Vlade really left me in a very shit position here. So like, let's just try to clean house, get out of this cap situation. And I can tell for everything I've seen and just listening to the things he says, it seems like he's going to take the patient long-term route that like the Warriors did of like developing within the draft and those kinds of things, actually making good picks and not throwing out ridiculous contracts like Vlade did. Not sitting in that purgatory of like, hey, we're half rebuilding, but also half really trying to make the 8th seed. Like he's just like, I'm going to do this patiently and do it the right way. That's the vibe I'm getting from him. Is he hasn't been. They've hardly done anything free agency wise, and I'm okay with that because this free agency class is whack anyways. So it's like I'm kind of happy to see him not throwing a bunch of money around and doing crazy stuff. Like it's just like I'm good with it. I have a good vibe with it.
Yeah, I think you can create a counterpoint that says like, well, we don't have a generational talent and 2 other Hall of Famers that we've drafted, right? Like that's one argument, and I hear you, I see you, I understand. I just want the team to be good. Is that too hard for me to like? Is that too hard to ask for? Like,
and that's where you have to be. I think that's where you have to be careful because I think Kings fans were just like, yo, I don't want to hear patience. I'm tired of patience. It's been 14 years.
14 years.
At the same time, it's like, okay, well, that mentality is what every GM has had for the last like 5 years since we got this new like ownership and stuff. They've all kind of been like, yo, I want to win now, kind of, but also half rebuild. And obviously it's gotten us no playoff berths. So like maybe we actually just go all in on doing it right for once. And it's like it sucks because nobody wants to be patient when you haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. But like if you got to do it, you might as well just do it right. What's another couple of years when you've been waiting for it?
Let's go Kings.
golly, man. And I guess like if you look at the Western Conference, like the East has gotten stronger, but the Western Conference, like maybe the top isn't like as strong as it has been in years past, like the top 4 or 5 teams, but like there's just more good teams than there used to be, and I don't see how the Kings make the playoffs at all this year.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they're not going to, and I'm good with that. Like tank.
Even if we had kept like all those guys that left and we were healthy.
No, it wouldn't have mattered. We still would have been close.
It's again maybe the 8th seed. You know, if it's like if Bagley is healthy and doing what he's supposed to do, still, it's just tough.
We'll have to talk about Bagley at like a full episode on him, maybe.
I have a hot take on him.
Ooh.
Now this is all just barring, if he's healthy this year. If he can have a season where he's not injured, I think he could potentially win Most Improved Player of the Year. I
would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great for him.
As long as he's healthy. That's yeah.
Do you think he does that next to Hassan Whiteside though?
Oh, what?
Yeah, sorry. What did you say, Tyler?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think Hassan Whiteside will start.
Oh god, if he starts,
there's no chance. Not if Rashawn Holmes is still there or anything like that. But I mean, that's still like Holmes and Bagley is not a great fit either.
So what is the starting lineup right now?
Fox, Buddy, Barnes.
The elites of Holmes. I don't start Bagley yet.
I mean, it depends on his health.
Yeah. I'm taking him slow, giving him 20-25.
Yeah, that would be the starting lineup then if that's the case. It would just be that same lineup with either Bagley or Holmes at the 5. Neat.
Yeah. That's okay.
Which is like, okay.
That's okay.
That was another thing with the Bogdanovich trade is Buddy Hield. So there is Sam Amick, who's an NBA writer. He had some stuff to say about Bogdanovich and Buddy, how those two. So basically, let me read off his tweets here. If there is no real viable market for a Buddy Hield trade, as sources say, then first-year Kings GM Monty McNair should be very reluctant about running it back with this group. Bogdan, whose presence means Buddy remains an unhappy 6th man, clearly wants to move on. And then he goes on. Where is it at? Bogdanovich clearly wants to go, and by the way, his presence would create a logjam for Tyrese Halliburton, who pushed his way to Sac because he thought he'd be a good fit. Lastly, the premise of this perspective is built largely on that previously mentioned idea that Buddy Hield's trade market is relatively non-existent. If that's true, then keeping Bogdanovich is a purgatory move for the Kings. If it's not, however, then perhaps you relieve pressure that way. But as they seek fresh start and progress, something's got to give. So apparently right now, nobody values Buddy Hield. So we get rid of Boggs. Buddy's happy he can start again. He can put up his numbers again like he did the year before, as long as they play, as long as Luke Walton doesn't do what he did last year. And then we can trade
a
him and
combo
get
guard.
something good. Yeah. So
Yes.
like that's one positive is like, okay, Buddy Hield can stop subtweeting and liking shit. He can start, get his minutes, get his points and stuff, and then get his value up so we can trade him at the deadline and get something good, hopefully.
How much of this is like Buddy Hield thinking he's better than he is, though?
That's a
I
big,
think
that's
that's a lot of
that's
it. I think
definitely a
Luke
big
Walton,
portion.
like, bless his heart, like, Buddy was like, "Yo, give me the rock. I want to do this. I know I can do it." And Luke Walton's like, "Okay, if you feel like you can do it, man, like, let's boost up your your confidence here, man." Like,
I would much rather believe that than believe that Luke Walton came up with that idea as a coach.
yeah.
At least we have Alvin Gentry to help with the offense, though.
Yeah,
Hopefully, he can think of some better schemes for Buddy Hield, and hopefully, Buddy is finishing plays and not like directing them. Because if I see him turn the ball over one more time, like I'm just gonna lose it.
Well, as long as
He's
Fox is
just not
healthy,
good.
and then we have Halliburton too. Those are two very good playmakers who can make the offense run, and he can just run around and take open shots.
Yeah,
Then we're good.
Yeah, I suspect a lineup of Fox, Tyrese, Buddy, Harrison Barnes, and Marvin Bagley can put up like 150 points a game.
Yeah.
I think that team could be really, really dope, and then give up 160. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
mean,
see the Kings running a 3-guard lineup like OKC did, like at some points of the game? Where
oh
they
yeah, I could.
Britain?
Yeah, like a death lineup kind of thing.
That could be fun.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that a lot of that's like largely dependent on like team defense. So like if you look at that lineup, like individually you could pick on any one of those players and you'd have a tough time, but it was reliant on other players coming and helping like intelligently. And Tyrese Halliburton, like, for as good as a defender as he's been like heralded as, like, he's not a good individual defender. Like, we'll see like how much like the weight he's added like helps out, but
Which apparently he's added like 15 plus pounds already, which is swag.
Whoa.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that interview with the Kings, what did he say he was at the beginning of last season? Like 160?
He said by the end of the season he was like 168 or something like that, and he said he's like in the 180s now.
Yeah.
Like 185.
Damn,
or
he was
something.
skinny.
Yeah,
Jeez.
he was very skinny, but yeah, he's been adding a bunch of weight, and I think he'll be cool. And he's big, which is like he's 6'5" with like a 7-foot wingspan or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah,
he'll help a
that's
lot
a wingspan.
defensively.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, too bad Bogdanovich. I know he's gonna do well. There's gonna be a lot of big moments for him. Like, gonna share the spotlight with Trae Young. That'll be great for him.
The Hawks will
really
be one of
happy.
those teams that's super fun to watch and has awesome offense, but like zero defense.
Yeah, I think so. Here's my take. You know how like Gen Zers aren't fans of specific teams; they're fans of players.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
Players
Well,
like LeBron. Well, I mean, I'm in touch with Gen Z, so let me just clarify really quick. But the Kings
Okay.
were before Gen Z. They were the first group of people to be fans of players, and not necessarily a team. We are fans of the Kings because they are our sibling that we have to worry about regularly, but we don't necessarily like. We love them because we love them, but we don't love them. You know, that's my take. But we're fans of Bogdan Bogdanovich, DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah.
Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that's my lukewarm take. Anyways, should we talk about other players that left the Kings? Like,
Yeah. So what's the
anything you want
list? Bazemore, Giles,
to-
Len, Bogdanovich. We talk about Boggs. There's somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yogi Ferrell, who's unsigned.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back. We'll see
All
if
of
he
Mac's
sticks in
favorites are
NBA.
gone, man. I
Yeah.
love our guys.
Yeah, Harry Giles, dude. Like, ugh. I
That's-
don't know how far I want to go into him because that whole like not guaranteeing his like final year has been
that's
talked
such
about
a
at length,
that's
but-
such a classic Vlade move.
yeah. Anyways, I hope he does well in Portland. Portland's gonna be a great.
That's a cool place for him.
That's gonna be a great team for him, and he'll be able to play against a bunch of like players that are going to be competing for something. Good for him.
Is he their like backup center at this point?
Ennis Cantor.
And his Cantor, that's right. So he's still their third string center. That's too bad.
Yeah, I think they have him. They're probably going to have him play some like power forward too, is my guess. Like,
well, so what's their lineup is Lillard, McCollum, who they just trade for from Houston.
Rocco,
No, they got
Oh, shoot.
Covington.
Covington.
Yeah.
Covington,
Rocco.
Nurkic, and Melo.
Zach Collins.
Or Zach Collins. Do you
Let's
start-
I
look
forgot
this
about
up.
Zach Collins.
So that's the question. Like, is he like their fifth big? Probably.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So he's not getting very many minutes still.
So Blazers picked up Bryn Forbes. Oh wait, no, never mind. My bad. They picked up Harry Giles. Let's see. Melo. They've got Melo still, don't forget. Rodney Hood. They've got like some wings, dog.
Yeah, they're pretty
They have
stacked.
Rocco. They've got airplane mode, Derrick Jones Jr.
Gary Trent
Rodney
Jr.,
Hood.
man.
Yeah, Gary Trent Jr.
That we could have had, that we did have, and we gave up.
Oh, God.
They just like keep taking all
Gary
of our
Trent.
young second round
Yeah.
picks that we just throw them away, and they just take them.
Um,
Like Gabriel and forget Gary Trent Jr.
yeah. I don't know if you saw this. Apparently, we were in discussions with Derrick Jones Jr. to
Mhm.
sign him.
He went
We
with
offered a
Portland.
similar contract as the Blazers did, and he ended up choosing the Blazers, which
I can't
can't
blame
blame
him.
him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, go make the playoffs, my guy. Rodney Hood overpay. That's my thought there. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the Blazers had like an excellent offseason. I don't know if I would call it excellent. I think it's
I think
pretty
it's
good.
pretty good.
It's
I think
solid.
they've got some depth, which is nice. I think they could probably use like another like post defender, someone like a bigger body like that, but we'll see how Zach Collins does this year. So yeah, let's see who else we got. Y'all want to talk about Hassan Whiteside?
Speaking
I
of
just
Blazers,
like, why not just keep Alex Len and not sign Whiteside?
maybe Len.
What did
didn't-
he sign in Toronto? Like a minimum deal?
It was not much, yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't know how much Whiteside's getting. I'm assuming it's not much,
it's a minimum deal.
Yeah.
It's a 1 year.
which is like, and it's 1 year, so like I'm not super upset about this.
Yeah.
If it was more, I'd be really pissed. But like, all right, you're gonna get him for a year. Like, I don't really like him in the locker room. I think that's my biggest concern. Is
Mhm.
like he's kind of a dude who's been known to not be great, and it's like, do you want that with our young
He's got a
guys?
great Snapchat, dude. I don't know.
Like,
That's fun.
Well,
that's
it makes
fun.
it work
Yay.
then.
Y'all
Yeah.
ever see that? He had like a big ass koi pond in Miami. That's cool. How many cool guys have koi ponds?
Direct indicator of a cool guy. He's got a koi pond.
Is that a
that's
hot
pretty
take
cool.
right there?
You ain't cool unless you got a koi pond.
It's like a square and rectangle thing. All rectangles are squares. Not all squares are rectangles.
Dang.
All koi pond owners are cool guys, gals, etc.
Damn.
Not all cool people own koi ponds. So
That's fair.
yeah, man, I'm just dishing out the takes.
Big time.
Mind's
Big time
blown.
takes.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Yeah,
I hope he only plays like 15 minutes a game.
it's nice to have like a big guy who we can
Yeah.
just throw in there at certain times, but like it's whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I would hope that Bagley is going to be playing some 5 this year, but
I
so
would
hopefully
assume.
Whiteside's not getting too many minutes.
I mean, we only have 4 bigs, so yeah, I think
Chimezie Metu, maybe if he makes the team.
If he gets an actual contract.
he's not getting minutes over Bagley though.
No, he's probably not going to get like
No.
any minutes.
Yeah,
but
he's like garbage time.
yeah.
That's cool. All right. I guess the last thing is, how are we feeling about Monty McNair so far? I think we've talked about him a lot, but
I feel pretty good so far. Like the main thing that stands out to me, which is as sad as this sounds, is like listening to him talk. He's like, he kept saying, like for the draft at least, he's like, yeah, I just want to get best talent available. Like what a simple concept that every GM's like, yeah, no duh. But like for a Kings fan who's had Vlade for the last however many years is like, oh no, we got to get the best fit. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, just develop, like just get as much talent as you can, and don't be stupid. Don't overthink this. Like when you're in a position like we're in, like that was something that stood out to me. I'm like, all right,
Thoughts,
cool.
dude.
Like he's competent.
Vlade just like outsmarted himself all the time in the draft. It's like doing stuff. You're just like, what are you doing, man? Why are you trading back? Just draft somebody who's good. Like you think back to like 2017 when he traded the 10th pick for the 15th and 20th. It's like, dude, you missed so like 2 All-Stars, right? He missed Donovan Mitchell and Bam Adebayo by trading back. Like,
And then you don't even pick up Giles's option. So it's like, well, what the hell was the point?
That he traded Justin Jackson and he didn't pick up Giles.
Oh my God.
And Justin Jackson's like at the end of the bench this year. They like drafted Josh Green to basically like supersede his role. Like
I think JJ got traded to OKC.
what? All right, hang on.
Yeah, I think he got traded in part of the deal for which one was it? I can't remember
Yeah.
now. I could have sworn
DeLon,
I
right?
got traded.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It
So
was-
I've got the trade here. I'm gonna put this in the chat real quick. This is pretty. Look at that.
Yeah, the Steven Adams trade. That's right.
This trade is needlessly complicated. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know why.
Well, they like edited it, right? Like a few
Yeah.
days later, they're like, oh yeah, let's actually like add a couple things to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
If it works. Can we just say the Pelicans have the 2 strongest men in the whole NBA? And I don't know how guys are going to ever try to score on Steven Adams and Zion Williamson. They're just going to get the shit beat out of them. It's like the Detroit Bad Boys with those.
Are they
gonna-
are they the 8th
Oh.
seed this year?
Is it the
Ooh.
Suns? Is it them?
I think
don't
the
know.
Suns will be higher than the 8th seed, but like I think the 8th seed is pretty much up for grabs right now.
It's gonna be tight again
Memphis
this
lost
year.
Jaren Jackson Jr. I think they're out. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if the Spurs are gonna do anything this year. I don't want to talk about the Spurs right now, but like yeah. Pelicans are gonna lead the league in offensive rebounds. That's another thing. That's just a fact. That's not even a take. That's just like, how do you not? Steven Adams, like once Russell Westbrook left, like so many offensive rebounds.
Oh yeah.
Like, dang, the Thunder also have George Hill. That's another. Let's not keep trashing Vlade today. We'll save that for the future.
But
you could do an entire episode just on trashing Vlade
yeah,
as president.
So check this out though, really quick. This Pelicans, this like Thunder trade. So they traded Steven Adams. They get back Trevor Ariza, Justin Jackson, George Hill, Darius Miller, a 2023 protected first round pick in 2 seconds.
that's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Haul for Steve for 1 year of Steven Adams.
And Steven Adams is always younger.
27 million too. Like it's
Yeah.
overpaid.
Oh yeah.
And he's younger than we all think he is, right? but he's got some miles on him. You know,
Oh,
like he clearly slows down throughout the year. Like that's
Sam Presti is just a wizard. I mean, the amount of draft picks he has acquired is unbelievable. It's like 3 or 4 per year in the first round for the next like 6 years.
yeah.
Like that's unprecedented. Like
Yeah.
not even Celtics have had that many draft picks in their treasure chest.
Yeah. And maybe one day McNair like gets there. That'd be cool. I would love to see Monty McNair
I
win some trades.
I think he's gonna try and do like what Brooklyn did when they were stuck in that god awful situation from the Celtics trade from back in the day. Is just start taking on bad contracts and acquiring picks and slowly. I hope.
You have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I mean,
We'll
I
see.
think whatever we say here today is like it's just a guess. Like we don't really know what's going on. We know that he's going to draft best player available. By the sound of it, you could probably infer that he's going to be always looking for assets and talent, like which
He's also mentioned a lot lately is like talking about like as far as ideal players, he's looking for versatility, people, multiple ball handlers who can switch off in different positions, like what the Rockets were always doing. Which I'm pretty down with that.
yeah, that's so much easier said than done though.
True.
Like, if any of us became like GM, like we
we always talk.
yeah, like we talk about. I don't dream about it, but
You do a little bit. Come on, Alvin. I know you do.
I would get shit on regularly. People will make a podcast out there and just be like, Alvin keeps talking about Ricky Rubio. He's not even on the team. Why does he keep talking about him? Like,
forget about Ricky Rubio. Enough with the Ricky Rubio.
Yeah,
Get it,
Rubio's been out. It's 2029. Rubio's out of the league, dog.
Like, retired.
We gotta bring Ricky Rubio back from the dead. He's gonna redeem the Kings.
Is that your new Brooklyn accent that you?
If Bernie Sanders was GM of the Sacramento Kings.
This is what Alvin Holbrook sounds like in 2029.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So I think that's the conclusion about McNair. Like, we'll see what he does. I hope good things happen. I have no reason to doubt him until otherwise, I guess. So I think that's the conclusion. We're all pretty hopeful, right? So
yeah, the grade's incomplete. We just haven't seen enough. But
yeah, we'll see. The season starts in like a month, so
that's nuts.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on. Tyler, we're gonna talk about some Tyler's trades right here. Tyler's been known to whip out a trade or two that leaves jaws dropped on the floor, for better and for worse. Tyler, what you got today?
I mean, like I said, most of the trade ideas I had are now rendered useless because stuff has already happened. So
okay, well,
I really don't have much.
What trade did you want to happen? I guess is the question.
Man, I was going hard for a Pacers trade with the Kings. Like I looked at it so many ways to get Turner on the Kings because his fit is like ideal with Bagley and he's only 24. His contract's like decent. I mean, I looked at like taking on Oladipo in a trade just to get him off their books, or like how we could like do different picks involved. And it's so hard to say because I don't know how the Pacers view Victor Oladipo. It sounds like he has no value in the market, but I don't know if they're holding out to see if maybe he can redeem himself. So it was just really tough to figure something out. But I was really looking at that, and I don't know if I have a single trade that made sense, but that's what I was trying to figure out. Sorry, that was kind of ramble because I don't really have a trade. But
well, I'm just gonna look through our group chat really quick. I'm gonna go through Here's one trade. It's a 3-way trade between the Pacers, Magic, and Kings. You've got Pacers getting
a good one. Yeah.
Buddy Hield and Aaron Gordon, Magic getting Vic Oladipo, and the Kings getting Miles Turner.
And the Magic would get a first round pick in addition to Oladipo.
So I guess here's my question. Why do the Pacers do that, and why do the Kings do that? Because you can, like, everything I've heard recently, and this could be all hearsay, but the Celtics were trying to figure out a trade with the Pacers to get Gordon Hayward to the Pacers. They did not want Miles Turner. And the idea throughout the league is that, like, who wants Miles Turner right now? For some reason, the thing's cooled on him. Like, the market's cooled on him. Like, if there's no trade value for Buddy Hield, they'd probably want to hold one another, right? I guess the argument would be get rid of Oladipo, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you got to get rid of Oladipo if you're taking Buddy Hield. I think the Pacers do it because they get talent back for guys who just aren't contributing. I mean, Turner had a down year. Obviously, Depot hasn't played in 2 years. You get back Hield and Gordon. I mean, those are two guys that can help you win now. I don't know if it makes them a great team. I think they have a lot of really solid guys. Maybe one guy that's an all-star in Sabonis, and then you have like a supporting cast of like pretty good guys. But it's better than just losing Oladipo and then you're stuck with Turner, who isn't like a great fit. So I think it makes sense that way. And for the Kings, like I said, I mean, Turner stay with Bagley is awesome, and we can get rid of Buddy Hield. The Magic can get rid of Gordon. They haven't been happy with him. He didn't really turn out to be the star they had hoped. They can get back their guy, Victor Oladipo, who's essentially just an expiring contract, and then get a first-round pick probably in 2021 and get some value back. So,
I mean, maybe they do something like that at the deadline. If Buddy can get his value up again, that'd be sick.
Yeah, maybe the Pacers are just like, we got to get something for Vic. He's leaving.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. Here's a trade from TradeNBA.com I have here. This one's kind of fun. It's between the Rockets and the Hawks. So the Hawks receive Eric Gordon and a Portland 2021 first-round pick. The Rockets receive a 2021 second-round Miami pick and Clint Capella. Gordon for Capella, basically.
I don't know if They just got Capella, though. Has he even played for them yet?
No, he's been injured. His like entire time.
I don't know. I think I'd keep Capella just for some defense.
They need some kind of defense because nobody else on that starting five is going to give you any defense. Like, it's going to be so bad.
Well, I mean, Chris Dunn. Well, I guess he's not starting.
He's not starting. He'll be coming out. That, like, they got him because they're like, shit, nobody else can play defense on this team. So, like, go get somebody.
Rondo ain't playing defense anymore.
Only when he especially not on this team. If he's like Lakers in the playoffs, okay, yeah, he'll go play defense, but he's not playing defense on the Atlanta Hawks.
He saves it for playoff Rondo time. He knows what he's doing. He goes Super Saiyan. He's got to save that energy.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of saving energy, I don't know if you all have ever noticed this, but if you watch Rajon Rondo shoot like 3-pointers now, he barely jumps. It's almost like a set shot.
Yeah, he has like zero
all arms.
Well, it used to be like he would jump up pretty high, and then he has like super long arms, right? He's got like a 6'9" wingspan or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So we'll come back with some hotter trades. Maybe we'll look at Trade NBA and just look at the worst trades there and see what happens. But I guess let's finish today with some hot takes, huh? Any takes? I know that we've been spitting them out so far, but
yeah, I kind of already said mine about Bagley being most improved player. That was kind of like my main hot take.
Man, I
had another one that was going to be that the Wizards take the 8th seed and Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs.
That was my take.
Yeah, like that was something I was thinking about before this episode. Like I was looking at the rosters and I was like, you know what? Like all these big signings that Atlanta's making, I was like, cool. Like maybe they get the 8th seed, like neat. But like at the same time, if John Wall comes back healthy, I think that would be kind of hilarious.
My take was that the Hawks are gonna miss the playoffs, and one, it's because of defense. Two, it's gonna be because teams are gonna be targeting the crap out of Trae Young. They're just gonna ISO on him every game, and he's just gonna take a beating. The dude's like
Tiny.
our size. I mean, he's not my size, but yeah, he's Nick. He's not that far off from you, like as far as like height, and you're probably heavier than he is. Like,
Probably.
you know. So I think it's more along the lines of he gets injured, and then they miss the playoffs.
How depressing would that be for Atlanta?
That'd be
Jeez.
extremely depressing, and I don't wish that upon any other team besides the Kings. You know, well, I don't wish it on the Kings either. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on.
come
on, man.
So my take: Hawks spend all this money, they miss the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but I would love to see Beal and Wall in the playoffs again this year.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
Also,
because when
still
they've been
kinda-
in the playoffs, they've been great. Like, gone in the Eastern Conference Finals. If not,
that was
awesome
my
teams, so-
argument with the John Wall versus Russell Westbrook is like they're great in the playoffs, John Wall and Bradley Beal together, whereas
Mhm.
Russell Westbrook kind of just like fizzes out,
Yeah,
gets exposed, I guess you could say.
maybe Wall knows how to chill, dude. That's
Russell Westbrook has no chill whatsoever.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. We'll see what happens. Any other takes y'all want to?
I just
Spit
thought
out
of
there.
one. This is the year that Markel Fultz really shows us what he's got. I think
Okay.
That would be
big things in
cool.
Orlando, and we're going to be reminded why he was the first overall pick in a loaded 2017 draft. Dude's going to come out firing on all cylinders.
Gosh,
Like,
I
do you
just
guys
remember
remember
watching him. Go ahead.
Summer League, right?
So
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's what I was
exactly.
gonna say. I was like, he was lighting it up against Donovan
Oh.
Mitchell. Like
He went
God.
toe to toe with Donovan
The
Mitchell.
best player.
tearing it up. He was the best guy out there. Like
Yeah.
even with Donovan Mitchell killing it, like he was just out there just
And
unreal.
he made it look so easy. That's
Yeah.
so hard to do. Like Mitchell, you could tell he was scrapping and fighting for everything.
Mhm.
Dante Exum was fighting for everything. But for Markel Fultz, it was just like you get to a spot, just a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of shiftiness, and just pull up or get to the bucket and, you know, just keep momentum going the Sixers way. That was really impressive. That was like one
Yeah.
of the most impressive like games I've watched from a single player.
Yeah. And this is a contract year for him. I mean, if he doesn't do something big, he's going to miss it on a huge payday. I don't think he gets a max. He would have to have an unbelievable season. Like he would have to be an all-star to get a max, but I think he can prove himself and get like a decent contract and just show us what he's got and actually be successful in the league. So
You know,
I would love that. I would love to see Markel Fultz go off.
That would
He's
be
so
awesome.
yeah. You know, maybe he learned from the Hassan Whiteside school of playing on your final year of your contract. bro. Getting
The
those
one
big
good
minutes,
year.
you know?
Hassan
Yeah.
Whiteside.
So that could be the bonus. Monty saw like Hassan Whiteside, you know, just playing contract years and getting paid.
And then just big chilling after that.
Yeah, and then just
Bunch of
big chilling
empty
once he does
stats.
that. So you guys sign him to that 1 year deal. Speaking of empty stats, empty calories, how's that Dr. Pepper going over there, huh? Any thoughts? Closing thoughts?
Delightfully mediocre.
Cool. How's that Celsius over there?
Oh, it's hitting. Let me tell you something. I am up and at him and feeling great.
Feeling a little jittery.
No jitters. That's the thing. No jitters.
Oh,
Just energy.
no.
Just feeling good.
Oh, no,
Tell
no
you
jitters. No jitters.
This right here. No jitters, baby. Ain't no jitters.
General energy.
Celsius.
I'm
Yeah,
starting to feel some jitters. Actually.
Yeah, there was like 32 grams of sugar.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. And also, like, the thing with yerba mate is you get kind of that like aftertaste, and I'm still getting the aftertaste here, which is a bummer. So you get all the sugar, all the aftertaste. If I get this again, it's because I'm down bad, guys. Like that's
You
the
come
thing.
home with a Little Caesars pizza and a yerba mate.
you know it's been one of those days.
Oh man, maybe that's what happens after a Kings game this season. Let's hope not. Let's hope.
Oh,
Let's hope I don't get a little
Markel
C's.
Porches box, and we're just like super depressed.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone listening to this, all of the one people listening to this, get to hear
Thanks,
more
Nikhil.
about how
We
sad
appreciate
we
you.
are listening to the Kings and talking about the Kings. And we'll do this again very soon. Maybe, what do you guys think? Like
Yeah, once we got
bi-monthly?
something to talk about.
Weekly? Yeah. All right.
That sounds good.
Cool. All right. If there's nothing else, we just want to thank you guys once again. Thanks for tuning in to the inaugural episode of the Bev Boys Basketball Broadcast. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe, give us 5 stars, whatever like your podcast medium of choice does, and we'll see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Have
Happy
a good night.
Thanksgiving. Stay
Yeah.
sweet.
Thanks.